Hello, and welcome to our webinar dedicated to the ISO 20022 migration for cash activity. My name is Mounia Riyad. I am the Global Head of Solutions within Cash Management and Liquidity Solutions at Securities Services, BNP Paribas. For this presentation, I will be joined by our cash product managers, Simona Barbaglia and Kelly Casimir. Today, we are pleased to present you an overview of the ISO 20022, the new industry standard, which is a common language and a harmonized model for financial institutions across the entire payment ecosystem. I would like to inform you that this session will be recorded. The recording and the slide will be shared at a later stage. A Q&A will take place at the end of this session, so please do not hesitate to ask your questions at any time during the presentation. You can use the chat box to include your comments as well and your question. And at the end of the presentation, we will be happy to answer your questions. So in terms of agenda, we will start by providing you information about ISO 20022. What is ISO 20022? We will see the key features and benefits of the new message standard, followed by the industry timeline for the transition from MT to MX. We will then present you our global strategy, share our MX readiness per message type and per geographic location. And we will conclude with our testing strategy to ensure a smooth transition. Now it's time to hand over to our cash expert. Kelly, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mounia. Hello, everyone. So before to start, I would like to dive into the details of the migration project. And I would like to start with a quick overview of ISO 20022 migration and what is CBPR Plus. What is CBPR Plus exactly? As you may know, the financial industry is currently undergoing a major transformation with the adoption of ISO 20022 as a new global messaging standard for cross-border payment. This shift aims to enhance interoperability between institutions and significantly improve the quality and structure of payment data. CBPR Plus, which stands for Cross-Border Payment and Reporting Plus, refers to specific ISO 20022 message guidelines defined by SWIFT for inter-block cross-border flow. It is designed to replace the current MT message format used in SWIFT FIN. The main objectives of this migration are to enable richer and more structured data, facilitate compliance processes like fraud monitoring and sanction screening, and ultimately make payment faster, more traceable, and more transparent. The migration officially starts in March 2023, and we are currently in a coexistent phase where both MT and ISO 20022 message are accepted. For financial institutions, this means adapting both their system and operations, upgrading payment and reporting platform, ensuring compliance with new data requirements, and closely coordinating with partners and providers to ensure a smooth transition. So, to summarize, I can share the key benefits of the ISO 20022 standard. First, it enables richer and more structured data, which allows for improved automation and straight-through processing. It also enhances compliance capabilities, making it easier to perform sanction screening, fraud detection, and meet regulatory requirements. ISO 20022 brings greater interoperability, and it's being adopted globally across major market infrastructures. It provides better traceability and transparency, offering end-to-end visibility of the payment flow. institutions benefit from operational efficiency with fewer exceptions, reduced manual intervention, and lower error rates. And finally, it creates a solid foundation to support innovation, enabling enriched reporting, advanced analytics, and new added services. Now let's see the industry macro planning and timelines. As part of the global migration to ISO 20022, SWIFT has defined a phased approach covering different message categories. Let's take a look at the key milestones for payment, reporting, and exception and investigation messages. So first, with the payment. So the migration for the payment, such as PAX 8, PAX 008, PAX 009, officially started in March 2023, marking the beginning of the coexistence period with empty messages. On BNP Paribas Securities Services side, the project started in 2020 with the analysis of the impact of trust migration on our different applications, and we define a global coordination with BNP Paribas Group. This coexistence will continue until November 2025 for the payment, when the legacy empty messages will be fully decommissioned for cross-border payments. After that, only ISO 20022 format will be allowed for CBPR plus payment flow. Please note that MT101 messages are deprioritized and have been removed from the scope of November. That means that after that date, it will be possible to use PEN 001 or MT11. Empty messages will be still accepted thanks to a translation services provided by SWIFT. This service will be maintained at a price. Now let's move to the exception and investigations messages. So a new component of the ISO 20022 migration is the introduction of structured messages for handling exception and investigations, known as cache management messages. These messages will significantly improve collaboration between institutions by standardizing the way cases like payment inquiries, returns, and claims are handled. Here, there are two main milestones. As from November 2026, for payment cancellation requests and responses, CAMT 29, CAMT 56, it will be mandatory for all financial institutions to send and receive these messages on ISO 20022 standard. All other exception and investigation messages, it will be mandatory to receive on ISO 20022, so only the reception. And as from November 2027, for all exception and investigation messages, receiving and sending must be based on ISO 20022 standard. So now moving to the reporting messages, non-instruction messages also. For November 2025, for reporting messages, the previous deadline for the reporting messages was also November 2025. In June last year, the Swift board has decided to change the timeline, and it has been decided that from November 2025, these messages become deprecated but will be still supported. Today, no end of coexistence is known for the category of messages. Nevertheless, financial institutions are strongly encouraged to adopt ISO 20022 formats in line with the industry shift and to ensure consistency and interoperability across internal and external payments. So now I will let the floor to Simona for the strategy for of migration for the payment and exception and investigation messages.
Thanks, Kelly. So now we focus on the payment cycle. In March 2023, the industry initiated a compulsory migration to ISO 20022 for cross-border payments. MT 2023-2025 coexistence period has the aim to facilitate the migration process. Until the decommissioning date, which will be on November the 22nd, BNP will accept both MT and MX payment initiation messages. With regards to payments confirmation, as of July 2025, we will be ready to send CAMT 054. CAMT 054 are the MX equivalent to MT 900 and 910. The trigger event to migrate the payment confirmations from MT to MX will be the RMI key exchange. Kelly will explain you later about the RMI key. Please note that it will not be possible to receive MT 900 and 910 and MX CAMT 054 for the same Kate, but you could still profit from the Swift inflow translator on reporting. Starting from Swift release, first, BNP will accept Swift MX payment initiations only in accordance with CBR Plus requirements. And second, a new hybrid address will be introduced. We kindly remind you that for STP processing, BNP will require agents to be filled in the form of BIC. While for parties, for example, debitor and creditor, this can be expressed as BIC, as preferred option, or as a name. When expressed by a name option, we recommend using structured elements for addresses, with town and countries as a minima. Please ensure all jurisdictional requirements are met. Then, we reserve the possibility to give you further guidelines with relation to addresses in accordance with the forthcoming regulations, policies, and market processes. Exception and investigation messages will be processed natively starting from Q1 2026. A global client update has been released yesterday with the timeline and the message we are going to support in the migration period. Regarding Neolink, a communication will be issued later. Another thing regarding Neolink side. On Neolink side, there will be minimal changes only, and the migration from MX to MT will be as smooth as possible. In the next slides, at page 12 and 13, you can find the MT table, the MT and the MX equivalent table, which are in our catalog, with the timeline. We are not going through all the messages in the table, and we will let you read to have a look to the table when the support is received. As a matter of example, if we take, for example, the first line of the table, the MT103 equivalent, it's PAX 008. The PAX 008 has been activated since March 2023, while the MT103 will be available till November 2025.
Let's move now to the strategy for non-instruction messages. So from November 2025, as I said, reporting messages like CAM53, equivalent of MT940, are deprecated but still supported. That means this category of messages becomes obsolete but still accepted until further communication from the Swift board. We will start sending outgoing messages in MX format in a phased location approach between the third quarter of 2025 and the second quarter of 2026 upon client request. So first in Q3 2025 for your accounts open in France, Luxembourg, and US. For the other branches, we'll be ready to send MX format by Q3 2026. One important point related to the sending of reporting messages. RMA key exchange becomes mandatory for CBPR plus communication. So let me briefly explain what is the RMA key and what changed with the ISO 20022. RMA stands for Relationship Management Application. It's a control mechanism within the SWIFT network that allows institutions to authorize which type of messages they can send to each other. So as a result, institutions must exchange new RMA key to enable CBPR plus communication for reporting messages. Regarding our web portal, no link, we will be ready to receive CAM53 messages and integrate it in the web portal from October 2025. So now let's move on the testing strategy. Here there is the table and the same as for the payment. You can see the table with the MT to MX messages equivalent and the scope of the message managed by BNP Paribas Securities Services. So moving to the testing approach. Your testing request should be sent to your usual cash account manager or your usual contact. A dedicated form can be completed and shared with us for your testing request. I will share quickly the document in the next slide. And you have probably received it with the client update sent yesterday, and it will be also available directly on the webinar platform. So feel free to retrieve it if you want it. For the testing in September 2025, we will promote the My Standard. So My Standard is a SWIFT tool which allows us to publish and to share our usage guideline and our format in terms of SWIFT messages. So it will allow to test and to retrieve our format before to go into end-to-end testing with us.
The testing messages you can test the following payment messages: PAX 008, PAX 009, CAMT 055, 56, and 57. The testing on those messages is already available. PAIN 001 will be available for testing starting from October 2025. For the reporting part, CAMT 052 are already available for testings for the clients who have subscribed the My Treasury offer. CAMT 054 testing is already available as well. For CAMT 053, we will be ready on a phased approach. Starting from Q3 2025, you can test with France, Luxembourg, and US. While starting from Q2 2026, it will be for the other locations.
So let's have a look on the form that can be completed and shared with your cash account manager or your usual contact. We will ask to share your contact for testing, and also you can select the type of message that you want to test with us, payment or reporting for the branches already available, and more information in this form. Now I leave the floor to Munia, who will share the key messages of this presentation.
Thank you, Kelly, and also thank you, Simona. I think this session was very useful. Thanks for sharing all this insightful information. So you did, as I mentioned, share with us a lot of information. So I think before moving to the questions, let me quickly highlight the key takeaways from our presentation. The adoption of ISO 20022 will be translated in multiple benefits for the industry. It will improve the communication between institutions as it is designed with a more structured way. It's already improved the quality of the payments. It will improve as well the client experience on the payment side. It will improve as well the quality of the reporting as the format will be richer. It will also increase the transparency for compliance purpose and fraud detection. Regarding the payment messages, so as of today, BNP Paribas Securities Services, we do accept MT messages and MX messages for your instructions. As mentioned previously, the end of the coexistence for MT and MX is planned by the industry in November 2025. After the date, SWIFT may apply fees to institutions but are not ready to use the MX messages and still sending MT messages. So we strongly encourage you to be ready before this date. In terms of testing on the payment side, as it was mentioned also before, we are ready to test for all the locations. So any of your account open within our geographic location, our team are ready to test with you guys. Concerning the reporting messages, the end of coexistence date is not yet communicated. However, in November 2025, MT reporting will be deprecated but still supported. Within Securities Services, we saw the messages that were highlighted by Kelly and Simona. For the CAMP 54 message, which is the equivalent of the MT900 and MT910, it will be activated in July 2025 for all the locations. Regarding the CAMP 53, equivalent of the MT940 and MT950, it will be activated in Q3 2025 for few locations. We will start migrating progressively in different phases. So it will be ready for France, Luxembourg, and US location. For the other locations, the migration is planned beginning of 2026. And of course, we will send you a communication just before to give you more details on the defined target date. An important note, even though we are ready in Amex or we will be ready for the reporting side, the clients who are not Amex ready and still have to go through all the development and enhancement of our system, you will still have the possibility to continue receiving the MT reporting messages. The Amex reporting will be activated upon your request. So no worries if you're not ready, we will of course adjust with your readiness. In terms of testing on the messages, on the reporting messages, sorry, so we can already start testing the CAMP 54 as mentioned, because it's already available for all the locations. We can start it. And for the CAMP 53, the testing phase will start in June for Paris, Luxembourg, and the US. For the other locations, of course, we will communicate as well. Once we will be ready, we will send you as well the testing phase and the testing approach. Our web portal neolink, so it was regarding the Swift messages, but for our web portal neolink, as it was mentioned, it will have minimum impact. So no worries here in terms of your instructions. You will see it will have just a minimum change. So you will be able to instruct as you always did. We also gave you all the table of all the messages that we do support today and the timeline for our migrations. So if you have, of course, any question, do not hesitate to put them on the chat. And I see that we have already some questions. So I think now it's time to open the floor to your questions. Okay, so let me read the questions.
I think that I can take a few of them. Okay, there is a question related to our standard. If we are CBR plus standard, full standardized, yes, the reply is yes. So we do not have customized rules. So you can refer to the CBR plus guidelines as published in my standards.
Okay, thank you, Simona. The second question is, could you please let us know the email address and team who we can contact to arrange testing with PNP for ISO 20022 messages? I think, Kelly, is something that you mentioned.
I can take this one, yes. You will send your request for testing to your usual cash account manager or contact. And internally, there is a workflow defined where there is a dedicated team in charge of the testing who will coordinate the testing and manage all the result and the feedback with you.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. A question for Simona about the MT101. Sorry, let me go back to the question. Until when exactly the MT101 equivalent will be usable?
What do you mean by MT101 equivalent? You would like to say until when PIN001 will be usable? So PIN001 could be used for sure. No problem. As regards the MT101, it could be used as well because it has been deprioritized. So there is no problem to use MT101 after November 2025.
Can you maybe just underline when the PIN001 on our side we will be ready, maybe just to add
Sorry,
this
yes,
information?
the PIN001 will be ready starting for testing from October 2025.
Okay, so until the industry mention anything, for now, the client are still allowed to send us MT101 until we have further notice from the industry.
Exactly.
Thank you, Simona. A question for Kelly. Does BNP align with CBPR Plus standard, or do we have customized rules?
We are aligned with CBPR Plus guideline. There is no customized rules for BNP Paribas Securities Services messages.
Okay, there is another one related to PIN001, but I think we already replied. What do you mean with the PIN001 deprioritized on the payment message timeline? Non-banks need to send PIN001 starting from November 2025 to BNP.
No financial institution can continue to send the MT101 after November 2023.
Okay, thank you. Question for Kelly. Why is CAMT 53 limited to US, France, and Luxembourg?
We have some dependency with the readiness of our internal application. That's why we will be ready first for the account open in France and Luxembourg and also US. And for the other branches, it will be from Q2 2026.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, can a client for France still ask for the MT950 after Q3 2025?
Yes, I can take this one. Really, the sending, the activation of the MX format is not on our side. It's always upon client request, and we will need, as we said, the exchange of the RMA key before sending MX messages. So yes,
Thank you.
after that date, after November, and after the activation, client will continue, and even as we have no end date for this type of messages, today, even in 2026, you can continue to receive empty format for reporting messages.
Thank you, Kelly. Maybe the next one is still for you. Until which final date will you accept payment empty messages?
So the final date, the end date is November, the end of coexistence is November 2025. So there will be a service provided by SWIFT for the institution not ready, and for the translation of empty messages to a mixed format. So for BNP Paribas Securities Services, this translation would be transparent, but this service will be offered by SWIFT at a price.
Thank you, Kelly. Question for Simona. Are you ready to send test responses PAX 009, PAX 004, and CAM 29?
And CAM 29, not yet. Let's say with regards to PAX 002 negative, it will be ready by November 2025. PAX 004, I think it's not relevant for our clients because of PAX 004 are a returning message within the interbank space. So I don't think this message will affect our clients. The CAM 059 are not ready yet.
Thank you, Simona. We have a question on structural address. So maybe, Simona, I'll let you give us more information about that.
Okay. For the time being, let's say we are not requiring additional tax for structured addresses. Let's say that we strictly follow the regulations, the European APAC and travel rule regulation. So we are requiring to receive the ordering customer address for sure, but while for the beneficiary, the town and the name are not mandatory, even if recommended. So if in the creditor side you're not going to insert the town and the country, the message will not be knocked. But anyway, our recommendation is to insert as a minima the town and the name. With regards to the agents, we require the agents to be filled with BICs. So if you are going to use names for agents, they even if with a structured address, a fully structured address, the payment instruction will fall in repair.
Okay, let me check again. The PIN 001 we already replied. Sorry, I'm just reading the address. Who is the point of contact for testing? I think this one we already replied as well. As mentioned by Kelly, you should contact your usual day-to-day contact or your cash account manager or your CSM. There is a question regarding to the Amex messages, but globally not limited to the cash. So if it will impact security settlement and as well fund dealing services, yes, it will. We will provide you the information at a later stage. I don't have in mind the transitions date for the security part and dealing services as well. Okay. Okay, the contact is another question about the contact we already replied. Sorry. Should we expect exchanges? Should we expect changes on our existing SLA, Kelly?
No change in the current SLA. ISO 22 standard will be introduced during the future review of your SLA. So no change on the existing SLA.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Still a question for you, Kelly, for Neolink. What is the impact on Neolink? Maybe it was not.
Okay, on Neolink, as said by Simona, we will limit the impact of the migration on the screen and also on the file upload. It will be, yes, limited impact, and more in the future, we will introduce the new feed available in the MX format for payment and also reporting.
Thank you,
All
Kelly.
this, sorry, all
Sorry,
the
go ahead.
changes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yes, sorry, no problem. But all the changes related to Neolink and the impact will be communicated via the usual Neolink release note.
Thank you. Next question. Is purpose code is mandatory for the payment instruction? Simona?
No, purpose codes are not mandatory for the time being. For perhaps there will. Very sorry. I was saying that for the time being, no purposes codes are not mandatory. But it's if you are going to insert the purposes codes, for sure we are going to accept them.
Can you please, another question, can you please share details about DN setup for production and test environment, Simona, as well?
Yes, we are going to follow the standard rules for DNs. So the standard rule for DNs are OU equal to the branch code, then the big 8 and O equal to Swift. So for example, if you are going to send an instruction to Paribas Milan, then DN would be OU equal XXX, branch code equal to Parb ITMM, and O equal to Swift. And the DN is the same for test and production.
Thank you very much. Another question on RMA key, Kelly, even though if you replied, I think maybe it's worth to re-underline the difference between the RMA key for payments and reporting. So the question is, when Amex will be ready in our systems, we will need to exchange our RMA key once again. Can you please confirm?
Yes, for the reporting part, yes. You need to exchange the RMA key for this category of message. For payment, it will be automatically move to the MX with no need to send information and share information for the payment. It will be only for reporting. It will be a bootstrap for payment.
Okay, there was a question maybe for you, Simona. I don't know if you already replied. From which date CAMT 58 will be supported by BNP?
We do not have a date, so we are going to communicate regarding the CAMT 058 on a later stage.
Okay, thank you, Simona. Is the legal entity identifier, LEI, is mandatory for payment instruction? Still for you, Simona?
No, the LEI is not mandatory for the time being, for sure. We are strictly following the evolution of the market practices and the regulations. For sure, we recommend inserting the LOE in your payment instructions, but anyway, if you do not quote the LEI, the instruction would not be rejected.
Thank you, Simona. How do you expect client to instruct a return of funds, CAMT 110 and CAMT 111? Simona, if you know.
Let's say we are not ready for the exception and investigation messages yet. So exception investigation messages will be ready within the Swift timeline. For the time being, for request of rejection, we are going to manage them via the standard model.
Thank you, Simona. Question for Kelly. Is it safe to assume that if a PAX 009 instruction has processed successfully when testing with BNP Paribas Paris, it will process successfully as well for the other locations?
Yes, yes. If the testing are successfully performed for BNP FRPP, yes, it will be also processed successfully for the other locations.
Thank you, Kelly. Still for you, there is a question on Neolink. Please, can you provide the new format for uploading cash payment files into Neolink, or advise where to find this?
The file upload format is not yet available. The new file upload format is not yet available. As we said, the development is still ongoing, and the objective is really to limit and to create a mapping between the fields today not available in empty format in order to populate correctly the MX messages. So I think by July, August, we will be able to share this file upload format and the changes.
Sorry, I would like just a little thing because of I think the question before it was regarding if the testing is done with BNPA FRPP, can we assume that the tests are well valid for all the other location? Let's say it's a little bit misleading, very sorry, because of BNPA FRPP does not belong to us. So if you have tests with PARB FRPP, okay, it will be okay for the all other branches. While if you have tested with BNPA FRPP, it's better to test again with the other big code, which is PARB FRPP.
Thank you, Simona, for the clarification.
Thank you, Simona.
Another question. Is the usage of the structure address mandatory in ISO 20022? For Simona.
Yes, so sorry. It will be, let's say, starting from November 2025, an hybrid address will be introduced. You can till November 2026, it will be possible to use the unstructured address as well. For sure, this is something that it's transitory, so you have to be prepared to send at least hybrid addresses. So we are not requiring you to use the hybrid, the structured and unstructured address till SWIFT date, so November 2026. But anyway, it's recommended to use structured address as soon as you can.
Thank you. Another question, can you confirm the CAMT 53 reporting for BNP Paribas regarding accounts held in Spain, Italy, and Portugal? For those will not be available for testing until Q2 2026 or later.
Yes, exactly. It will be the testing for account open in Spain, Italy, and Portugal will be available from Q2 2026. We will communicate the exact date in due course.
Okay, let me see if we have another questions. You already mentioned, Simona, about the structure address, but we can maybe have another one because provide more details. What type of elements are mandatory for postal address? Simona.
It depends on the tag, let's say, and we follow the CBR Plus guidelines. Let's say that even for the ordering customer on a CBR Plus point of view, the address elements are not mandatory. But anyway, there is a regulation behind, so you have to insert the details of the structure address, of the addresses. At minima, you have to insert on the ordering customer address all the details, let's say, because of it's the town, the country, and the full address, so the street and so on. This is for the ordering customer. For the creditor, let's say, you're not obliged to insert any detail of the addresses, but we strongly recommend to insert as a minima the town and the country, okay? While for the agents, let's say, we are not going to accept for an STP processing the agent filled in as a name, but we are requiring to insert you the BIC. Either the BIC FI, no, it's the BIC FI, sorry, for agent it's BIC FI.
Yeah, thank you, Simona. Maybe another one for you. Cancellation request of PAX 009 should be sent by MT292 or CAMT57.
Yes, for the time being, let's say you can send the cancellation via either 292 or CAMT57.
Thank you very much. I'm still reading. I think we have already questions that we just replied. Let me have a quick look to see if there are different ones. Question on the hybrid address. We already. There is a question. Are we ready? BNP is ready to support hybrid address testing? I'm not sure if we already replied to this one, Simona.
Yes, it depends really on the type of testing environment that you are going to use. I'm not sure that the PC environment, test environment is already in Swift, the current mode or the future mode. Anyway, if you are going to use the pilot future test environment, it will be possible to test the hybrid address.
Thank you. Okay, I don't see any new questions for now. Maybe I will wait 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm still reading. I just see if we have a new question because I just see the same question as we just received. Okay. So I think we have reached the end of this session. I don't see any more questions. Hope you find this session very useful and it replied to your questions. As I mentioned in the beginning of the session, this session is recorded. So we will be sharing, of course, the recording of this session and as well the slide at a later stage. So we will, of course, we remain available if you have any questions. So if you have any question afterwards, do not hesitate to reach out again to your dedicated cash account manager or your usual contact or your client service manager, or if you need, we, of course, the product manager are also available to reply to your questions. So thank you all. I don't see new questions. I think we can close the call. Thank you very much, Kelly and Simona, for your presentation of ISO 20022 and for our global strategy in terms of deploying the MX messages and as well in terms of testing. So again, we encourage you to do the testing with us. I think the more you are prepared, I think the more the migration will be smooth. So thank you again for your attention and hope it was useful for you, and do not hesitate to ask questions if you need us. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you.